I could. So we can either play what we've got two. You've got two choices, guys. I can either tell you a Crohn's related story, or I can play a game. It's up to you guys. So in the chat, give me a yes if you'd like to hear a story, or give me a no. How about say story or age? Story age, whichever one. I'm happy to do either. Right. So stream music's really low. Get the YouTube content. Get the number. Get the numbers. Right. Okay, guys. So we'll do a little chat. So I'm now going to take some questions regarding Crohn's and IBD. So if anybody has any questions around colostomy bags, around stomas, around just Crohn's in general, anything they want to ask, please ask me now, and that will set me off on a bit of a story, and then I will give you some of that juicy YouTube content, guys. So firstly, I just want to say that we're doing a little bit of a question time. All this content is going to be going to YouTube, so I'll sell my soul right now. Like and subscribe, and kind of follow us for our journey of experiences of Crohn's IBD. And it's really tough actually doing this on the spot, but yeah, we're going to take a few questions now from chat. So your first reaction to the stoma. Like, the first moment you seen it, what was it like? Okay, that's a great question, Joe. So, Joe's question, just to sum it up, is what was my first reaction to a stoma? Now, just for the benefit of the video and Twitch, this is my stoma bag. So, it is a c&cuk Mira. I believe that's the brand. I get these delivered. Oh, did I have a bit of belly button fluff there, which is going to need to be taken out? No, I don't. Fantastic. So, I'm just a dirty male. Right. I have Crohn's disease, and because of that, unfortunately, medication never worked for me over the 8 years until my operation. Now, I was on everything from Humira to infliximab, vendolizumab, mercaptopurine, azathioprine. Anyone who's a Crohn'sy will also, be aware of that. An IBD folk will know all these different drugs, or at least should have some experience with them. Unfortunately for me, and a lot of people make this mistake, and I made the mistake myself, but a lot of people make the mistake between the severity of Crohn's. So, I have severe Crohn's. Now, I said to a doctor, "Oh, does that mean that my Crohn's is worse than somebody else's?" And he said to me, "No, that's not what it means. Actually, the severity of Crohn's usually means how well your body reacts to drugs." Now, obviously, some people can have Crohn's worse than other people, and that's just unfortunate for that person. Because I know many people that have Crohn's and don't have the same reactions or flare-ups that I do. However, the biggest problem for me was that I didn't have any sort of good reaction to medication, such as the drugs I just mentioned formerly, as well as steroids and intravenous steroids as well. They never worked very well for me. So the last option for me was the stoma. Now, could have it been done in better circumstances? Absolutely. Having a stoma is one of the biggest and most life-changing operations you could have for a condition like IBD. You are literally removing your large intestine or your colon. And obviously that's scary. That's very scary. And I did touch upon it on the last stream and on my last video. But actually, removing an organ at any time, going under local anaesthetic, being put to sleep is very scary. So the initial operation anyway doesn't always put you in good stead. Now, there's a lot of people that choose to have the operation that's called elective surgery. Now, unfortunately for me, I always toyed for the whole 9 years of having, 8 years up until my operation. I always toyed with the operation with, oh, do I want to have it? Don't I want to have it? I'm a little bit scared because there's lots and lots of things to consider, such as the intimacy between maybe yourself and your partner, your appearance changes. Obviously, recovery from an operation that big is incredibly difficult. Actually having an operation that large doesn't, you don't get up and run off the hospital bed after. I'll just quickly answer a few questions as we're going. Did your allergy to penicillin affect the medication you would receive? I don't think so. It does. It has some. I do know there's a few antibiotics you can't take. I couldn't take because of it, but I don't think it affected it too much. I think I could take the majority of the antibiotics that were available. But I couldn't say that for everybody. So, where was the best place for support after getting your diagnosis? Now, that's a tough one for me because I never really found it. The best support I had till it was from my IBD nurses. But sorry, carrying on with the story. I know that there is a lot of support groups such as Crohn's Colitis UK and different groups that can support people with Crohn's. However, it's something that's one of the reasons I built this channel in order to try and support people as well, because maybe the traditional avenues aren't always enough. So in terms of the stoma itself, I went into the operation in an emergency scenario in which my colon had expanded. I was at the point where it could explode potentially, and then unfortunately that puts you in a situation where you're in life or death then, because you have waste going into your body. So that was that was really dangerous for me to be in that position. So the doctors said to me, "Look, Josh, you're in the last saloon, really. Your last option now, we can't help you with medication anymore. Your last option now is surgery." So they decided that the best option was to remove my colon and give me a colostomy bag. Now, that was scary in itself, because I never wanted a colostomy bag. I always wanted to be, your normal sort of 20 late 20s male. I don't want to say 30, but I am 30. So that was already put me in a bad stead. And obviously, when the stoma nurses come around before your operation to show you like kind of example stomas, so it's like a little pad that has like a stoma on it, and you put it on your body, and they show you how you'd usually put a colostomy bag on. They give me one of them to play with. And the reality is, that's one gorgeous little stoma. I mean, it wouldn't be gorgeous for anybody else, but for me, you look at that stoma, like, oh my god, that's the most perfect thing. It's going to be amazing. It's tiny. Nobody knows about it. And then once you have the operation, obviously, initially the stoma is swollen. The stoma is massive. You're in loads of pain. You've had lots of medication. You have waves of ups and downs after the surgery. One day you're like, "Oh my god, I feel amazing," and then the next day you're like, "Oh my god, I feel like I might want to kill myself." It's them sorts of ups and downs. There's no level to it. So my initial reaction when I saw the stoma was, "Oh shit, what have I done to my life? I now have my intestine coming out of my body," and people don't realize this until they actually see a stoma. But a stoma isn't still; it's not paralyzed. It moves, because naturally, the way that you would pass food through your intestine is that it does this. Does that make sense? So it kind of moves around like that. I can't remember what it's called now. I should search that before I do streams. But it's like something, I don't want to say it because I'll get it wrong. But either way, it sort of moves. So you can see it moving on your belly. And obviously, coming out of surgery, already being apprehensive to a stoma and seeing that is like, oh my god, what the is this? So it's scary. It's very, very scary. So my first reaction was, "Oh my god, I've made a huge mistake. How can I live with my intestine popping out of my body for the rest of my life?" Yes, that's tough. That's a real tough thing to go through, especially as a 30-year-old. I mean, like, usually I associate stomas and etc. with older people. So to be sort of, at the time I was 29. It's only last year I've just turned 30. But I associate stomas with older people. So to put yourself through that mentally, it's tough. It really is, and it's very tough to appreciate what a stoma is. Although it was an emergency operation, did you have a say in the matter? Like, you just say no? I mean, yeah, absolutely, Joe. So surgeons will not do surgery unless you are 100% happy that they're doing surgery. Now, the only time that would be taken out of your hands would be if you were incapacitated and you couldn't make that decision. Then they would take it out of your hands in order to potentially save your life. I was in a position to make a decision, so so yeah, you can say no, and if you say no, surgeon won't do it until you're 100% happy to do it. I never realised it was your intestine. I thought it was just a fake tube that attached to it. No, you are then mistaken, Tillet. So the stoma is literally your intestine that's been forced through your abdominal wall, and then it is kind of turned inside out. I've seen the examples of how it's done, but it's sort of brought to the end of your abdominal wall, and then they almost fold it over like a sock. Sounds weird, and then they sew it to the skin where they've made the incision in order to sort of reattach to itself. I don't know how to say it really, but it kind of forms together to make like the stoma. Does that make sense? And obviously, depending on what the surgeon does, stomas can look all in different sizes. Would you like me to show you what sort of stomas might look like? I can even show you a picture of mine if you want, guys. I'll tell you what. I'm just going to do it before. I'm not even going to wait for I'm not going to wait for you. So let's. If I go to this. Oh, there's me. Sorry, I was watching it on here. Let's go on Instagram. Who was the first person you showed your stoma to? Funnily enough, Joe, it was my mother, and your mother, I think, was the first person to see it, to see the actual stoma itself. Like apart from the doctors. Yes, I think it was. Mam. I'm from the north, so we say mam. Said mam. You're right, mam. So let's just go for my Instagram, guys. So also as well, a little bit of an Instagram plug. But if you do want to follow me, it's the same as everywhere. UncleFiesta on Instagram, UncleFiesta on YouTube. UncleFiesta's the name. So this is my stoma here, guys. So this is kind of obviously what it looks like, a body shot angle. As you can see, I'm an absolute chiseled piece of meat, and that there is my stoma. So it's only small. I have a small stoma, and actually, when I first come out of the operation, my stoma was like twice the size of that, maybe 3 times the size, and it was very, very swollen and bled a lot. Because obviously it's people don't realise, but the stoma itself hasn't got any nerve endings, and it's also a very, very vascular muscle. Or a vascular organ, or whatever. But either way, it's got lots and lots of blood that flows through it, so even the slightest touch can make it bleed. However, it's got no pain receptors, doesn't feel anything, because obviously naturally the body, your organs don't have any pain receptors, which is funny, because obviously naturally no one should be touching them. They don't need any, because you wouldn't expect them to be touched, like the skin, like the fingers. So interesting that though, yeah. But when I first came out of operation, that was very, very scary to me. I'll just check if I've got any more pictures. I can't remember. No, I think that's the only one of my actual stoma I've put on. I will put some more on. This is what I look like when the gyms are back open. Hey, Fiesta baby, you looking like a muscly cat. You know what I'm saying? You looking like $10, baby. Let me show you what. So when people talk about leaking, is it from the intestine or something not attached properly? Yeah, exactly. So see this. Why is the picture of my stoma on? There you go. So you see my stoma's on there. What can happen is sometimes it can expand during the night as you're using it, and then eventually, unfortunately, it can have leaks if maybe there's a crack in the wall, or you have any other sort of issue with it. So in the night you can roll over, you can move it, you can pull it. Unfortunately, the wafer, which is what sticks to your skin, that can unfortunately come away, and as it does come away, you can get things such as leaks. Yeah, and just in case anyone else cares, that's come over here. This is the latest YouTube banner or thumbnail. Looks fantastic, guys. And then this was my personal favorite. Anyway, so just to give you an example, guys, so let's have a little look at what another stoma can look like. So let's just write in stoma. So guys, obviously, look, this one's a beautiful little small stoma. Sometimes they can be really difficult though, because they actually can cause more leaks because of its size. So with a stoma like that, usually you'll have a convex stoma bag, which is what I've got. What it does is it just makes a convex stoma bag look slightly different. For larger stomas, you have a flat plate, and that there is what you'd use for more of an innie, or maybe like an inward stoma. because then it encourages the waste to come out rather than sort of build up around here and then potentially cause leaks. Because obviously, poo is waste and it can erode the wafer. So the reason you have like this sort of lip here is so that the thing comes out. Although I think that's a. Well, let me try and figure it out. I think that's not an ileostomy. I think that's a colostomy. So I have an ileostomy. Okay, that's probably I should explain that as well. So an ileostomy and a colostomy. I think that's right. Anyway, I might be slightly wrong. I know I've got an ileostomy. So basically, an ileostomy is small intestine. So I haven't got any colon left. My whole large intestine has been removed. So. So it's only small intestine. The only reason I can tell that is because of the side of the body it's at. So mine is on the other side of my body. If you look here, maybe it's not. Maybe that is a small intestine. It's really hard. I'm trying to act like I'm in the mirror. Oh yeah. So my stoma's there. Okay. It's because I'm taking it in the mirror, aren't I? Of course. So that is right. I am right. So basically that is actually on that side. It's because it's a reflection of the mirror, isn't it? So your small intestine starts there, if that makes sense. If you're not looking at it in the mirror. It's so confusing because I'm looking at it in a mirror. But yeah, anyway, let's kind of look at different stomas. But yeah, so obviously that one's I think is that herniated, or maybe it's like kind of broken out. I'm not sure. I don't know everything about it. I'm still fairly new to it myself, guys. But as you can see, you get ones that are a little bit longer, or that one looks a little bit longer. There's actually a really cool guy on Instagram called Colitis Man, I think it is, Mr. Colitis. He has quite a large stoma. They're just all different. It just depends how much of the intestine your surgeon took out, I suppose. But yeah, anyway, sorry guys. Anyway, to get back to where we were. So yes, that's a stoma, and that's sort of kind of how it looks, really, guys. So yeah, to answer the question, for me, when I had my stoma, when I got my stoma, if you will, yeah, it was a big shock to me, and I wasn't very happy at the time. The IBD nurses were really good to me though, and the IBD nurses made me feel comfortable with the stoma itself. Yeah, so does that help anybody? Is there anybody else who's got any questions in chat that would like to talk to me about Crohn's disease or my stoma? I suppose it's good because we're on the stoma, so if anyone's got any questions that's been listening about my intestines, then by all means ask. How do you explain it to the boys? Just openly. Everything that I just told you right now, Tilla, is exactly what I told to my children. So I've got a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old. And everything that I just mentioned in chat right now is exactly what I told them. So it wouldn't be any different. I think that you've got to be very liberal with children. And thanks, Agro. I think you've got to be very liberal with children and just be honest with them. Just be goddamn honest with them. I think, though, guys, if it's okay, it's just about to hit 11, so I'm going to call it a night. Obviously, all of that's going to go to YouTube anyway, so if anyone wants to catch that again about stomas and ileostomies, then I will be linked it to YouTube. It'll be in the Discord. If someone could just exclamation mark Discord in the chat. Thank you for the. I'm happy to share Tillit because I think it's for a good cause. I mean, I know it's for a good cause. I know that Crohn's is for a good cause, and so is IBD. And hopefully, if we can just help one person who's suffering, then to me that would mean the world. Thank you very much for joining the stream tonight, and enjoy your evening. Yeah.